CIET NCERT presents AudioBook, Kaushal Bodh, Textbook of Vocational Education for Grade 7.
Page 1, Part 1, Work with Life Forms. There is a picture given at the bottom in which 4 students are looking at different plants. One of them is taking notes. The other one is sitting with a shovel in her hand. One boy is looking at a flower and a butterfly sipping its sweet nectar. And the 4th child is just looking at some leaves. Page 2. Life forms include all living things on earth. They include human beings, mammals, birds, fish, plants, insects, reptiles, and even bacteria and viruses. Projects on work with life forms will help you work with living things in different ways. You can take up projects related to growing plants in various ways, recording the biodiversity around you, surveying medicinal plants, learning to care for domestic animals, and maintaining a nature journal. It is up to you to imagine all that you can do in the activities with your peers. 2 examples of projects are given in this section, which are plant nursery and school habitat garden. You must take up only one project. You can either choose one of these projects or you can design a project of your own choice with the help of your teacher. Page 3. Project 1. Plant nursery. On the top right-hand side, there is a QR code which directs you to additional resources related to this chapter. This project will help you learn how to provide conditions suitable for the growth of plants and the different methods of plant propagation. You will do this while developing a plant nursery in your school. As part of the project, you will be able to identify conditions necessary for growth of plants, design a plant nursery, use different methods of plant propagation, observe plant growth. There is a picture given, Figure 1.1, Developing a Plant Nursery in the School. In this picture, 2 children are standing under a banyan tree with saplings. One child is digging a furrow to plant seeds along with his 2 friends. Page 4. Plants propagate, that is, they reproduce themselves through various methods. Tiny seeds germinate and grow into a huge tree or a small flowering plant. However, some plants can be grown directly from the branches of the mother plant or tubers. For example, potatoes. Like humans, plants require a suitable environment to survive and grow. In science, you have learned that plants need air, sunlight, nutrients, and water for their growth. These factors are essential, but beyond them, plants also need a favorable environment to thrive, just like we do. Let us understand this with an example. Do you live in a warm and humid region, a cold and dry region, or a place that experiences different seasons? If you reside in a cold and dry area, you might have heard people say, "It is so dry." The dryness can cause itchy skin and burning sensation in the nostrils. That is why, when using a heater or bukhari, people often place a bowl of water in the room to add moisture to the air. But what causes humidity or dryness? As you have studied, air contains various components, including water vapor. When there is a high amount of water vapor in the air, the weather feels humid, whereas a lower amount makes the air dry. Just like too much or too little humidity affects us, it also impacts plants, especially during their growth stages. Similarly, extreme temperatures can be uncomfortable for humans, and plants also require an optimal temperature to grow. However, the ideal temperature varies among plants, which is why some plants flourish only in specific seasons. Have you observed that more plants grow near a water stream, on the edges of ponds, or near water sources? Example, wells, water tap, than in dry places. This is because they get optimum temperature, humidity, and moisture in the soil. In the plant nursery, figure 1.1, you will need to create these conditions for optimum survival and growth of plants. Page number 5. Did you know Thimamma marimanu, a banyan tree located in Anantapuramu, district of Andhra Pradesh, is spread over 5 acres. This is the size of a small village. Imagine a tree spread so far that it could house an entire village under its branches. Isn't it fascinating that a single seed has grown into such a big tree? The banyan tree provides shade, oxygen, and shelter to birds, animals, and humans. It teaches us to care for nature and plants. Figure 1.2 is given. Banyan tree in Anantapuramu district, Andhra Pradesh. Plant nurseries are important for various reasons. Example, preserving original plant species and creating new varieties of plants, and producing plants on a very large scale. Since nurseries are developed in a smaller space compared to farms, it is easier to prevent pests and provide protection from unsuitable conditions like heavy rain or severe heat. Since conditions for healthy growth of plants can be created in plant nurseries, plants can be grown whenever required and not only during the seasons that are generally suitable for them. People visit plant nurseries to buy plants for their homes, gardens, and agriculture field. What will I be able to do? At the end of project, you will be able to 1. Describe the needs of germinating seeds and young plants. 2. Cultivate new plants using different plant propagation methods. 3. Provide suitable conditions for initial growth of plants. 4. Develop a plant nursery in the school. Page 6. What will I need? You will need the following tools, equipment, and materials for developing the plant nursery. Figure 1.3. Gardening tools, garden shovel, spade, hand cultivators, grafting knife, pruning shears, secateurs or sharp cutter, watering can, and gardening gloves. Figure 1.3. Tools and materials used to develop plant nursery. This picture also displays a bag of potting mud, manure, some saplings, etc. other than the gardening tools mentioned. Nursery materials: seedling or plug tray, cocoa peat, sphagnum, moss or cocoa husk, compost or manure, seed germination paper or cardboard, 45 cm into 28 cm. Other materials: shade net, bamboo or wooden pole, 8 feet in height, PVC pipe, tarpaulin sheet and bricks, measuring tape, plant labels, first aid kit, lime powder, geometry scale, pencil, rubber bands, plastic tray, and water. How do I keep myself and others safe? Some key precautions to be followed while working in a plant nursery are as follows. 1. Always use the right tool and equipment for the job. 2. Follow instructions while using gardening tools and materials. Tools like spades, shovels, pickaxes, etc. are heavy and should be handled with caution. Sharp tools like cutters and knives must be used carefully. Page 7. You need to take necessary care to ensure your safety and of others too. 3. Use gloves that fit well so you have a good grip on tools and equipment. 4. Always ask for help if you are unsure about how to use a tool. 5. Wash hands carefully after working with soil as it may contain many disease-causing microorganisms. 6. Use proper lifting techniques. Bend your knees, not your back, while lifting heavy weight. 7. Hang tools on racks or place them in marked places or storage boxes. Internet safety. Ask your teacher for help while using the internet. Be careful not to upload or download anything without checking. Do not share personal information anywhere. What do I need to know before I start? There are different types of plant nurseries. Some may be for growing vegetables and others for fruit crops, trees, flowering plants, ornamental plants, and so on. What do I need to know before I start? There are different types of plant nurseries. Some may be for growing vegetables and others for fruit crops, trees, flowering plants, ornamental plants, and so on. Different areas will have different kinds of nurseries. While the process of developing the nursery remains the same, the kind of plants change. In agricultural areas, you will find nurseries for vegetables like brinjal, tomato, onion, etc. and crops like banana. In urban areas, nurseries provide ornamental and flowering plants such as rose, marigold, etc. that can be kept in homes. Where possible, especially in coastal and hilly areas, horticultural nurseries for plants like mango and coconut are set up. Nurseries can be on plots of land or on terraces of buildings. They may be large or small ones maintained at homes. Visiting any one of these will help you to prepare your nursery well. Page 8. In case there is no nursery close to your school, you can invite a farmer or gardener to your school to guide you. Activity 1. Visit to a nearby plant nursery. During your visit to the nursery, observe how essential factors such as air, sunlight, water, humidity, temperature, and nutrition are maintained. Write the details of your visits and interaction with the expert in the following format. With each point, you have some blank space for you to answer. 1. Date of visit. 2. Name of nursery visited. 3. Type of nursery. Example, vegetable, fruit, flowering plants, ornamental plants. 4. Types of plants grown. Example, vegetable, flowering, fruit, etc. 5. Nursery tools and equipment used. 6. management practices such as watering, pest control, nutrient, etc. Some questions you can ask are given below. You may also frame your own questions for interaction. Blank space is given with each question for your answer. 1. Which plants are generally grown in the nursery? 2. What methods of plant propagation are used in the nursery? 3. Are the same plants grown throughout the year or are there seasonal variations? If yes, which plants are grown in which season? Page 9. Figure 1.4. A neighborhood plant nursery. Two pictures are given of two different types of nurseries. One is covered from all sides and the other one is just covered from the top. Observe how the conditions necessary for healthy growth of the plants are provided in the nursery. Some specific questions you can ask the people working in the nursery are as follows. Blank space is given for your answers. 1. How do you ensure that plants receive the right amount and duration of sunlight? 2. What methods do you use to provide shade for plants? 3. What measures do you take to maintain ideal temperature for plants? 4. How do you make sure the plants receive right amount of water? 5. How is optimal humidity maintained? Page 10. 6. Is there anything else the plants need for their healthy growth? 7. How do you prevent damage to plants from external factors like pests, animals, or human activity? Example, are there pathways between plant beds and protective fencing? 8. How are plants transported from the nursery to home gardens or farms? On the basis of the experts' advice, decide which plants you will grow in your plant nursery. Note, important information related to these plants in Table 1.1 with the help of the expert. Table 1.1. Information for developing the plant nursery. In this table, 6 pointers or rows are given for your own collected information. You can fill these blanks with the information that you have collected. Page 11. What do I have to do? Now that you have learned about what plants need for growth, start planning for setting up the school nursery. You will plant seeds in beds and seedling trays. Grow new plants from stem cuttings and use them in the school or give them to others. You will also prepare nursery bags for planting and transferring plants from beds or trays to another part of the school. Figure 1.5. Figure 1.5. Growing plants in a plant nursery. In this picture, there are 7 steps which tell us how to plant a nursery. Step 1. Setting up the green shade net. Step 2. Preparing the raised bed. Step 3. Planting seeds and watering the beds. Step 4. Filling soil in nursery bags. Step 5. Multiplying plants using different methods. Step 6. Maintaining the nursery. Step 7. Showing your work during Kaushal Mela. Activity 2. Planning and laying out plant nursery. You have identified the plants that you will grow during Activity 1. Now that you have to plan the plant nursery. Figure 1.6. The first step is finding a suitable place. There is a picture at the bottom of page 11, figure 1.6, planning the layout of the plant nursery. In this picture, two students are sitting on the floor and writing down notes on how to plan the layout of the plant nursery. Page number 12. The selected area should preferably get at least 2 to 3 hours of sunlight. The place should be such that excess waterlogging can be avoided. A 150 to 200 square feet area should be sufficient. If the land is not available on the school premises, you can utilize any unused space, pathway or parking lot, or you can also create the nursery in pots. Figure 1.7. Figure 1.7, different ways of utilizing space for raising. In this picture, a terrace garden is given where different types are planted in pots. Once land is identified, calculate the area of the plant nursery. Now there are some questions along with the blank space for you to write your answers. 1. What is the available space for the nursery? Blank space. 2. What factors were considered while choosing the particular location? Blank space. Draw a layout or sketch of the nursery with dimensions, length and width. Show as many details as you can. Pathways, source of water, layout of beds, and so on. There is blank space given at the bottom of this page for you to draw or sketch your own nursery dimensions. Page 13. Activity 3. Preparing land and setting up shade net. You have made the layout of the nursery. Now, you need to prepare and land and install a shade net to reduce sunlight so that young plants are protected from excessive heat, preventing heat stress. 1. First, remove unwanted plants, debris, rocks, etc. to clean the selected area. 2. Mark the nursery boundary with lime powder. Mark important components like pathways, plant beds, and so on. Figure 1.8. Marking the nursery boundary with lime powder. In this picture, there are two boys who are marking the boundaries of their nursery with lime powder. 3. On the basis of area and your design, fix green shade net on the nursery using bamboo or wooden poles. Figure 1.9. Fixing the poles at the boundary of the plant nursery. In this picture, two boys are fixing the poles for the boundary of their plant nursery. 4. Choose a shade net with appropriate shading percentage, 50% or 75%, based on plant need. In case a green shade net is not available, you can use tree branches or old cloth, saris, to provide shade. Figure 1.10. Page number 14. If you are building the nursery on a terrace or concrete floor, then you can use metal tin boxes or a plastic drum filled with sand to fix poles for the shade net. Figure 1.10. Installing the green shade net. In this picture, there are some children who are trying to install the green shade net for their plant nurseries. 5. Use discarded pipes or rods, bamboo or fallen branches to make a protective fence for your plant nursery. It is required to prevent entry of animals and human beings. Once the basic structure is ready, respond to the following questions. With these questions, you again have blank space to write your answers. 1. What kind of shade net or clothes did you use to provide shade to the plants? Blank space. 2. Which materials did you use to fix the shade net? Example: bamboo, wooden pole, mild steel pipe, etc. Blank space. Activity 4. Germinating seeds. All seeds may not germinate after sowing. The seed germination rate tells you how many seeds are likely to germinate to become plants. It is necessary to know the germination rate to estimate the quantity of seeds required to be planted in a nursery. This activity will help you understand the importance of germination test. Follow the steps in figure 1.11 to perform the seed germination test. Page 15. Materials required: 1. Cereal or pulses seeds. 2. Geometry scale. 3. Pencil. 4. Rubber bands. 5. Plastic tray. 6. Water. 7. Seed germination paper, 45 cm into 28 cm. Seed germination paper is specially designed for germination tests since it can hold moisture. In case seed germination paper is not available, you can use a cardboard sheet. Step 1. Mark 3 by 3 cm squares on the paper. Step 2. Soak the paper in water. Let the extra water drain out. Step 3. Count 100 seeds and place them on equal distances as per markings. Step 4. Gently roll the paper, place rubber bands on the paper and keep it for 3 to 5 days. Step 5. Count the germinated seeds. Step 6. Calculate germination percentage using the formula given. Germination percentage is equal to number of seeds germinated by total number of seeds placed or sown into 100. Figure 1.11. Steps for calculating germination percentage. Record your plant's growth. You can create a video of seeds sprouting. You can take photographs using a smartphone or camera of seeds at different times. Search on the internet using a search engine for the keywords. Time-lapse photo apps. You can upload the photographs to create a video of seeds growing into sprouts and young plants. Page 16. Now, you must have understood that the germination rate helps you to estimate how many seeds need to be planted to get the required yield. This ensures that space, effort, and time is not wasted. If you look at seed packet labels, you will find that the seed germination rate is mentioned on them. Please respond to the following questions to learn more about seed germination rate. With each question, you have a blank space to write your answers. 1. Which seed did you use for conducting seed germination test? Blank space. 2. How many seeds were used for the germination test? Blank space. 3. How many days did it take for the seeds to germinate? Blank space. 4. How many seeds germinated? Blank space. 5. What was the germination rate? Blank space. Activity 5. Raising plants in the nursery. You have learnt about the seed germination rate. Let us now raise the plants in the nursery. Planting materials like seeds and cuttings contain reserve food in the form of carbohydrates, protein, vitamins, and necessary nutrients. This reserve is used by seedlings during germination and initial growth. Remember, the number of seeds you use must be greater than the number of plants you wish to grow. Page 17. Did you know? Rahibai Soma Popere, a recipient of Padma Shri and Nari Shakti Puraskar, figure 1.12, also known as the Seed Mother of India, has developed a seed bank in her small home. She has conserved more than 43 indigenous crop varieties and wild food resources. Her work is very important as many native plant species are at risk of being lost due to various factors, making their preservation essential. Figure 1.12. Rahibai Ji being honored with Nari Shakti Puraskar. Some of the common seed sowing methods used in plant nurseries are given. You can use these methods based on discussion with your peer and the teacher. Method 1. Sowing seeds on raised bed nursery. Step 1. Making raised beds for vegetable or flower seedlings. Nursery beds need to be free from weeds and stones. Raised beds, figure 1.13, ensure that extra water drains out from the root zone and roots get air for respiration. Figure 1.13. A raised bed with protective fence. In this picture, some girls are picking out the stones and taking out the weeds from the raised bed. It is also with a protective fence. Follow the steps to prepare raised bed. 1. Dig and loosen the soil. 2. Remove bigger stones and pebbles. 3. Mix compost and soil in a ratio of about 40-60 and raise the marked bed area by 15 to 20 cm above ground level. 4. The length of the bed could be 3 to 5 meter and width 1 to 1.5 meter. 5. You can maintain a distance of 0.30 to 0.40 meter between two beds for human movement required for watering, weeding, and so on. Figure 1.14. Page 18. Figure 1.14. Students digging the soil and leveling for raised bed preparation. In this figure, 3 pictures are shared where students are digging the soil and leveling it for raised bed preparation. Step 2. Sowing seeds on raised beds in a nursery. Now, sow seeds on the raised bed in the nursery. For this, follow the steps given. 1. If seeds are very small, mix them with fine sand or soil. It will help in the easy sowing of seeds. 2. Sow the seeds on the raised bed gently. Put soil on the seeds and water them using a water can to keep the soil moist. Respond to the following questions after the activity. With each question, blank space is provided for your answer. 1. Which seeds did you sow in the raised bed? Blank space. 2. What have you done to provide optimal conditions for growth of seedling? Blank space. Method 2. Sowing seeds in plug or seedling trays. An alternative to raised plant beds is using plug or seedlings tray. Figure 1.15. It is very useful if only limited space is available. and also if we want to produce seedlings on a large scale. Use trays with appropriate sized cells. Small cells for delicate seedling, while larger ones for bigger seedlings. Coco peat is generally used in seedling trays as growing media. Figure 1.15. Seedling tray with saplings growing in them. In this picture, a prototype of a seedling tray is given, with small saplings germinating out of the seeds. In case seedling trays are not available, you can use coconut shells, old teacups, or similar waste materials. Page 19. Did you know? Growing media has an advantage over soil in better management of moisture around roots. It also helps in avoiding disease spread and provides nutrients for growth. Apart from coco peat, minerals like vermiculite and bentonite are used in plant nurseries as growing media. For sowing seeds in a seedling tray. 1. Soak coco peat in water. 1 kg coco peat can absorb 5 to 8 liters of water. 2. After all the water is soaked, fill the trays with the soaked coco peat gently. 3. Sow seeds, 1 to 2 seeds per hole, and cover the tray with tarpaulin sheet or gunny bags. Keep the covered trays aside for 2 to 3 days. 4. Once the seeds start germinating, the tray should be placed in a shade net nursery for further growth. After completing the activity, answer the following questions. Blank space is given with each question for your answers. 1. Which method did you use for sowing the seeds? If you have used more than one method, please mention all of them. Blank space. 2. What steps have you taken to provide optimal conditions for the growth of seedlings? Blank space. Method 3. Raising plants using stem cuttings. Plants can also be propagated using stem cuttings. Figure 1.16. You can use the stem of hardwood. Example, Dieffenbachia, crouton, or softwood. Example, Duranta, alternanthera, as planting material. Page 20. Materials: nursery bags 5 into 4 inches. You can also use old milk pouches 500 ml. Step 1. Make 2 to 3 small holes at the bottom of the bags for water drainage and fill them with soil compost mixture. 2 parts soil plus 1 part compost. Step 2. Select a mature and healthy parent plant. Cut stem of 10 to 15 centimeters. Make a slant cut 45-degree angle to the base downside. This will give more surface area for rooting. The cutting should be 4 to 6 inches long with at least 2 to 3 nodes. Step 3. Dip the cut end of the stem cutting into the rooting hormone powder or gel, ensuring it is evenly coated. Step 4. After proper shooting, 30 to 45 days, a new plant can be shifted to a bigger polybag or field. Relevant pictures of each steps are shared along with the steps. Figure 1.16. Raising plant using stem cutting. Types of stem cutting used for plant propagation. 1. Softwood cuttings from shrubs or deciduous trees are cuttings that typically measure 10 to 15 centimeter in length. The top 2 to 3 leaves are retained, while the rest are removed. Retaining some leaves are crucial as the cuttings lack sufficient food reserves. Citrus, cherry, apple, peach, plum, pear, and apricot are commonly propagated using softwood cuttings under mist chambers, whereas plants like coleus, chrysanthemum, dahlia, holy basil, tulsi, and carnation are propagated through the herbaceous method. Page 21. 2. Semi-hardwood cuttings are taken from partially mature, slightly woody shoots or tissues. These cuttings are still tender and succulent, typically prepared from the current season's growth of trees and shrubs. This method is commonly used for propagating fruit plants such as mango, guava, lemon, jackfruit, and flowering plants such as roses. 3. Hardwood cuttings are taken from mature, woody stem material and are typically prepared during the dormant season. They are usually derived from 1-year-old shoots that developed in the previous growing season. This method is commonly used for propagating plants such as grape, fig, mulberry, kiwi fruit, pomegranates, chestnut, plum, apple, and gooseberry. Now we have some questions. Along with all the questions, a blank space is given for you to write your answers. 1. Which kind of plants did you use for plant propagation using cuttings? Did you use a cutting of hard, semi-hard or softwood? Blank space. 2. What have you done to ensure conditions for growth? Blank space. Activity 6. Watching plants grow. You have used different methods of plant propagation. Now, maintain a record as shown in Table 1.2 for your nursery. Table 1.2. Maintaining record for the plant nursery. This table, there are 7 columns and 5 rows in this table. First column has serial number. Second column is name of plants produced in the nursery. Third column, types of nursery method used. Fourth column, quantity of seeds or stem cutting used. Fifth column, date of planting. Sixth column, date of germination or emergence of the first leaf. Column 7, any other observation. 5 rows are kept blank for your responses. Page 22. Digital tools for nursery. There are different apps available to help you keep track of growth of your plants. You can search online with the keywords Plant Nursery Recording Apps, Pest Identifier, Plant Watering Reminder App, etc. Planting is not sufficient. You need to take care of the plants till they are mature and ready for transplantation in their beds or pots. Young plants are very delicate, and you need to take care of them till they are strong enough. You can transplant them in the right season and right place with suitable environment. Activity 7. Calculating the cost. Record the cost incurred on items and materials in Table 1.3. This will help you decide the selling price the plants can fetch. Table 1.3. Calculating the cost of items and materials. This table has 6 columns and 6 rows. First column is serial number. Second column is items or material. Third column is unit cost, cost per gram or piece. Fourth column, quantity. Fifth column, total price. Sixth column, remark. Some of the examples are also shared in some rows. First row, seed. Example, tomato. Unit cost, rupees 10 per gram. Quantity, 5 gram. Total price, rupees 50. Second row, seedling tray, 50 cell tray. Third row, nursery bag. Then we have some blank space for you to fill up. Page 23. What did I learn from others? 1. Write about 3 most useful things you learned from the visit to the plant nursery or interaction with the expert. Blank space. 2. Describe 3 things you learned while making the plant nursery with your peer. Blank space. What did I do and how long did it take? It is important to understand how much time is required for an activity to be completed. Calculate the approximate amount of time in hours you spent on each activity. Mark them on the timeline. If you did more than the activity suggested in the book, please add the number and time taken. Activity 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Time taken, periods, has blank space for you to write your responses. What else can I do? Things that you can try to expand your learnings are as follows. 1. You can decorate a pot and grow your plants into it. It can be a good gift for visitors. 2. You can conduct a plantation drive on Independence Day or Republic Day or any other day and plant the sapling that you have prepared in your school or home. 3. You can grow seasonal plants in your school or home. 4. According to you, what is the importance of plant nursery? Think and answer. 1. What did you enjoy doing? 2. What were the challenges you faced? 3. What will you do differently next time? 4. Identify few examples of jobs related to the work you did in this project. For example, gardener, botanist, forest officer, farmer, agriculture scientist. Look around, speak to people and write your answer. Chapter 1 ends here.
Kaushal Bodh. You were just listening to this audiobook. Textbook of Vocational Education for Grade 7. Narration Himani Joshi. Sound recordist Virendra Rawat. Production assistant Jagbandhu Jana. Directed and produced by Vimalesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.